Hi, welcome to What's New in HubSpot, the video series where I tell you everything you need to know about the new HubSpot release that happened in the last 30 days. And in February 2025, a lot of things happened in HubSpot because I noted more than 17 updates that you need to know about. I will try to make it the shortest as I can, but of course you don't need to watch the whole video. You can just go to the description below and check the timestamp of all the updates I will talk about today. If you're ready to go, let's jump in the first HubSpot product update. And we start pretty big because HubSpot decided to redesign entirely the way we create workflow in HubSpot. They thought that for the new user, having to choose the object that would be the target of this automation was a bit confusing, so they decided to take off that part and to be able to directly within the trigger environment play with which object will be concerned by this automation. I'm pretty sure this change is huge in terms of creating automation in HubSpot and deserve a dedicated video, so I will present this new workflow tool in a next video in the following weeks. Then we have the OR filtering on all single objects reports. So if you play a lot with HubSpot reports and dashboards, you might realize that when it comes to segmenting your database to display the number you want on your reports, it might be a bit hard because you could only play with the AND logic in your filtering. When you go to list or workflows environment trigger, you can play with AND and OR. It was not possible for your reports. The only way you could make a OR logic in your reports was to create a dedicated list that you will use in your report filter. Now you don't need to do that anymore. You can just have the OR logic directly implemented in your workflow filtering settings. And then we have the index page report view. As you can see, there's a lot of report updates this month. So if you follow the last video of What's New in HubSpot, we talk about the fact that HubSpot is kind of reshaping entirely the way they organize their assets. Last month they implemented the emails and the calls index page, and this month they decided to add reports view as well. It's another way of being able to easily find all the reports you want, so it's good to know it exists and hopefully it can be helpful for you. Then we have the AI translation for email. It's a public beta, so everyone can access it. The idea for this update is that now when you create a marketing email, you can translate it in different language using AI, and it's powered by default. So let's say you write your nurturing email in English, you can ask HubSpot to automatically generate a translation in French, Spanish, or whatever you want, automatically using default. And when you will go through your marketing email index page, you will see a tag saying generated with AI, so you know that is a result of these new features. Personally, I don't think I would use it because I think it's pretty weird to send, like, let's say, a Spanish email to someone that redirects to an English landing page. But depending on how you use your marketing email in HubSpot, could be a good way to save time and to target more precisely all your database. Next update is concerning mobile optimized email. Before you could have a view about how your email would look like on a desktop and on a mobile, but you didn't have that much option to modify the two versions separately. Now you can hide module, you can change layouts, you can disable automatic colon statting, etc. for mobile, so you make the reader experience way more enhanced by making the best version of your email for every device. And another product update is the anniversary filters. Now you have the possibility for a date or a date and time property to filter them by only their day and month, not about their years. So it will help us a lot when it comes to send like annual emails for whatever reason. Before we needed to create a complex calculated properties. Now we don't need to do it anymore. We can just select the day and month as a filter without taking care of the year. So that's amazing. Thank you, HubSpot. And I'm pretty sure it will save you a lot of time for a lot of your automation or email sendings. Then we have better filtering for property usage in imports. So last month they released a lot of new updates to improve the import process, which was great because we didn't touch it for a long time. And this month they arrived with another great update, which is the possibility to check before completing your import if the property value changes will impact some assets of your HubSpot portal. And by assets, I mean list, but mostly I mean automation. Because if you do a lot of import in HubSpot, every time you might be a bit scared that when you will perform this specific import, it will trigger some automation you didn't want to get triggered. So now instead of going through all your automation to check if it will or not trigger anything, you can just go to the last page of your import validation and you will have here the list of all active workflows and active lists that will be concerned by this specific import. So it's another way to stop stressing about importing a large quantity of data in your CRM. Another huge update is now that we have the Ask Breeze action in workflows. So if you don't know what Breeze is the HubSpot AI agent that they released like a few months ago. Now you have the possibility to ask Breeze like you would ask any LLM, anything as an action of your workflow. So basically you can use it for a lot of different use cases, and the one they showcase in this update is the possibility to just ask Breeze based on the domain name of the company that get enrolled in this workflow to search for information about this company and determine the property business type. So basically it could be good for enrichment, for data organization, data management, etc. When I see that, I feel like there's like an unlimited power of that tool. I really need to play with it a bit and come back to you with a dedicated videos that will show you good use case on how to use this specific AI agent within your workflows. And after this huge update that might not have all your interest, but trust me is really important, is that now we have AI generated list descriptions. If you follow my videos, you might know that I'm a huge fan of AI generated descriptions because, in my opinion, right now is the only AI stuff that correctly worked in HubSpot. When you come to lists, to workflows, to properties, etc., adding a description is really important when it comes to the documentation of your HubSpot portal. Imagine one day you leave the company and someone else has to take care of it, or even you in 2 years you go back to a specific workflow of a specific list, you might not remember what's the goal of this list and what it does. Now you don't need to do this extra step, you just need every time you create a list to click on generate with AI the description, and it will ensure the minimum basis of documentation that will save you and your colleagues a lot of time. So please take the habit to click on this little button every time you create a list now. And then we have the apply colors to property options. I really like this one because it's really visual. They just basically add a new feature that allow you to change the visuals of specific properties and their values. If you look at it, I think it has kind of a Airtable vibe, and I'm pretty sure it will be really appreciated by all your colleagues, as you will be able to display a specific information in a more clear and automatic way. It might take you a lot of time to just go to all the useful properties you have in your CRM to apply those colors, but I'm pretty sure everyone will be really happy about this fresh change. And now we have use HubSpot forms to register for Microsoft Teams webinars. I don't know any company that actually use the Microsoft Teams webinar as a webinar tool, but what we need to understand about this update is now when a lead is filling a form, we will be able to automatically register this lead to a specific webinar. For now it's only with Microsoft Teams, but as we can see select integration, I kind of feel like they will add other webinar tools. That would be amazing to be able to use HubSpot forms to automatically register people in our webinars. So I will let you know once I know more about it and if they have more HubSpot form and webinar integration in the future. And if you remember the third update of this video about the index page for reports, as I said, they might want to put all their assets within this index organization, and that's what they did with the index page for notes, postal mail, communication, so WhatsApp, LinkedIn, and SMS. So you will have another way to see all your different notes, for instance, based on the filters of the note properties you would have defined. It's a good way to have every note centralized in the same place. So if it's something that was frustrating you before, now it's done. You have this dedicated space for all your notes or communication or postal mail at the same place. And then we have the preview score inside in lead and health scores. Since there is a new lead scoring app that I made a video about, they decided to add small features every month to make this tool more and more complete. Last week they added the fact that you can test a specific record without before deploying the whole lead scoring app, but now they decided to create an average score to give you an indication about how your entire database will react to this specific scoring you put in place and give you a global trend of your database, and it allows us to make sure that the score we design is reacting correctly based on what we expected. Then we have the A/B testing for CTAs. So before we could run A/B tests for landing pages and emails, now they add this same feature for CTAs as well. The idea is to test two similar versions of the same CTA to see which version is performing better. Is it the A that gave more conversion or the B one? After a significant amount of traffic, HubSpot will be able to determine a winner version, so it will help you optimize your conversion. Before it was only for landing page and emails, now you can make it for CTAs to make sure your website is converting more and more every day. If you're doing A/B testing, a quick reminder, don't test more than one thing at a time. If not, you will not be able to determine the real reason why a version is performing better than the other one. And then we have the edit or delete campaign UTM values. So before, when you were creating a campaign, it will automatically give you a campaign UTM for tracked URL. You couldn't be able to edit it or delete it. Now you can do it to make sure you have a complete control on your URL tracking for your conversion. And this news is for the people that create a lot of dashboard and reports. I think this month we are really lucky about this specific aspect of our CRM. If you do a lot of reports, you might realize that tweaking the filters or the settings of a report to show exactly the number you want might be a bit annoying, because you need to open the customize button, you need to open a lot of windows, etc. Now they decided to have quick access to easy filtering to make sure we can play with our reports in a less painful way. The good thing about it is like this quick access is kind of intelligent because it will adapt to the kind of report you're working on. For instance, they say that currency setting, they will only get displayed on reports using a currency property. So it's a good thing that now we can play easily with our reports without having to spend hours of adapting the filters to get the result we want. And the last update of this month is the workflow date delay improvements. A few months ago, they released a date and time property type, which is an addition to the date property, and it's normal. But now we can store time data, like hours and minutes. It's normal that we are able to update the way we can put delays on our workflow. And they start with a date delay. So now instead of saying I want this lead to be stuck in this action before receiving this email on 20 February, you will be able to say 20 February at 5:30 p.m. let's say. So you can control when a lead will receive the email. You can play with a specific date and time property, but you can also play on the time zone of a lead to make sure all your leads will receive the good communication or the good workflow action at the perfect time depending on their time zone. I really hope they will implement those time values for the filtering of date and time properties. Like let's say I want to create a list of leads that create date is 1 minute ago or something like that. Of course, if it happens, I will let you know as soon as I got the information. So that was the 17th update you should not have missed for February. That's a lot. I hope this video was clear enough. If you think I forgot an important update, please let me know in the comment. If not, don't forget to put a thumbs up to this video and to subscribe to this channel to make sure you don't miss any new videos. It was great. I wish you a great week and see you next Wednesday.